Following the biggest mistakes not to make in Paris video, where I discussed some extremely aggressive scams, I got quite some messages from people saying they indeed got scammed and were happy I was warning other people. So I thought, why not go a little bit deeper into the subject and share my experience on how not to get scammed when traveling. I've been traveling now for 4.5 years, mostly solo, and luckily never got seriously scammed. So today I'm discussing what I do to recognize scammers, how to get away from them, and how not to become a target in the first place. Hope this video helps you to fully enjoy your travels without any scams ruining your experiences. To see more of my videos in the future, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for notifications. You can also find more of my videos on foreigner travel in India, linked below. Before we get into this video, I just want to make a small disclaimer. I didn't go to how not to get scammed school. This is just based on my 5 years experience as a solo female traveler. I definitely don't think the tips that I'm going to share with you are just applicable to solo female travelers. They are applicable to any kind of traveler, whether you're traveling as a couple, as a family, or by yourself. So let's get into it. The first one that I always tell to people is be wary of random, super friendly people. I'm not saying you should be paranoid. 90% of the people on this planet in any country are super nice, friendly people. But let's be real, they do have their own life and they do have things to do. So if somebody randomly just walks up to you and starts like a whole endless conversation asking you a lot of things, especially questions like, oh, where are you staying? How long are you staying here? Are you traveling alone? My alarms, my spidey senses immediately go off. I literally never tell people in which hotel I am staying. I don't want anybody to follow me or to know where all my stuff is. Second of all, how long I'm staying, it's really none of your business unless I've known you for a longer period of time. And also when somebody asks like, oh, are you traveling alone? That's kind of like a 50-50 question. If it's somebody who seems like a really nice person, I might tell them, I'm traveling for my work, because that sounds a little bit more normal to people than just traveling solo for, traveling solo. People always get kind of confused by that. So whenever they ask that question, I would usually answer like, I'm traveling alone for work, which is not untrue. Let's be real. This is my work. But whenever it's a guy and he has that look, not necessarily something sexual, let's call it like that, but it's just this greedy look that some people get. I will always say something like, I'm just waiting for my friend to come in town. She's traveling right now. Or my boyfriend, he's traveling right now, going to meet him up later, stuff like that. I don't randomly showcase all my information to strangers. Of course, in general, I'm nice to people. I even walked into a man's house to meet his family when I just met him randomly in the streets here in India. You're very cute. You're very, very cute. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. But I only do that rarely because I realize that most people have a life of their own. A lot of people will come up to you and have a little chat, like a 5-minute chat. But if it's somebody who's like sticking around and starting to act weird and asking all of these personal questions, that's just too many red flags for me, and I am out. To get away from that person, I will say like, oh, I'm so sorry, I have to go. I am in a hurry. I'm meeting a friend, or I have something urgent to do. If they won't leave me alone and just keep going at it, I will become rude. I don't care. Like, you don't have good intentions with me, or you're just not respecting my boundaries. So why should I still be nice with you? I think this is a mistake that a lot of people make. You are allowed to be rude to people who disrespect your boundaries or who are just sticking around when it's very obvious that they have bad intentions with you. Tip number 2, if anybody is trying to rush you into anything, whether it's buying something or taking you somewhere or getting you into a restaurant, whatever it is, whenever they are rushing you, for me, that's a red flag. And maybe it's because I hate rushing. I genuinely hate rushing. My family knows this. My friends know this. I've had like tantrums over this. I hate rushing. So whenever somebody tries to rush me, I naturally have a big aversion to that. But I've also noticed that it's very much a tactic of scammers to just catch you in the moment, get you confused, and like I described in the Paris scam, maybe even start you know, grabbing 50 euro bills from your wallet or like shoving things in your hand and demanding a payment. I'm like, nah. Anybody who tries to rush me, get the hell away from me. I'm not doing that, and you shouldn't either. Don't let anybody rush you into anything. It is a red flag. Take your time to do whatever you want, to get wherever you want, to buy whatever you want. I think that's an easy way to scare off scammers because they don't have time for you. They just want a catch as soon as possible. Tip number 3, speaking about wallets. Whenever you take out money of your wallet, if you are buying something on the streets, try to like turn a little bit away so nobody can see how much money you have on you. Maybe you don't have that much money, but maybe you do have more money than the people around you. Not raising that attention to yourself by flashing around how much money is in your wallet. That is always a good tactic as well. Just pretend that you're poor. That will scare off scammers anyways. Tip number 4, and I have definitely developed this habit of mine over all of these years of traveling alone. Try to check your bag regularly. Obviously, you need to keep your bag in the front. If you're carrying a backpack, that's also perfectly fine, but don't carry like your wallet in that easy accessible small pocket of your backpack. If you do that, that's kind of like an invitation to get like robbed or mugged. But if you have a bag on you, especially if it's like a crossbody bag, if you're keeping it in the front, still regularly try to like just put your hand on your bag to see if your bag is closed. Sometimes if somebody bumps into me, because that is also a tactic to rob you, immediately, because I don't want to like immediately be rude or something, I will open up my bag and pretend like I'm searching for a pen or lipstick or something, but in the meantime I'm actually just checking if everything is still there. So if that person who bumped into me stole something from me, then I'm fast. I can try to catch them or go after them, even though that is kind of like a stupid tactic because you don't know if they have a weapon. But at the same time, if I lost something or if they stole something from me, I want to know as soon as possible. So I think like I check my bag every 15 minutes. Like I will just put my hand on the bag. Very often I've also caught myself that way, like leaving my bag open, and then because I have that habit of checking it, I don't walk around with an open bag the whole day. Develop that habit of checking your bag regularly. Like I would say like every 15, every 30 minutes, just put your hand on your bag. If somebody bumps into you, immediately like open your bag, just check if everything is there. So if anything is missing, you know it as soon as possible. Tip number 5. The biggest scams usually involve people ripping you off. So asking way more money for something than it's actually worth. The best way to counter this is to first of all research prices online. Nowadays you can find almost any price on the internet because of maybe bloggers, or for instance here in India we have Amazon. Whatever you want to buy, just do a quick search what the price is. You can also do this for hotels, you can also do this for cabs, so you have like a base point price in your head. I just bought a kurta, a really pretty one. It's gold. It's so beautiful. Wow, look at this. And they're just gonna make the sleeves for me like in 2 minutes. If people ask a little bit more, you know, maybe they need it to feed their family or send their children to school. I in general don't have like much issues with that. I definitely got ripped off the other day. I got 12 bananas now for 40 rupees instead of 6 for 30. I probably got ripped off again, but it's okay, it's okay. I'm making progress. I still don't know what the real price of bananas is. It's okay. If a rickshaw driver here in India asks 50 rupees more, whatever, I'm like, my brother, bless you, I hope you do something well with it. But at the same time, if people are really trying to scam you, you will easily figure it out because you know the base price. This also goes for going places. Usually I will look up a place on Google Maps before I leave my hotel, so I know how to get there, even if Maps is offline. You can still use Google Maps with just GPS without having Wi-Fi. So if somebody comes up to me and tries to send me in the wrong direction, or they want to guide me to a shop or some other place that I don't want to go, a restaurant or something, I can easily see on the map that is not where I'm supposed to go. Checking things online beforehand really saves you a lot of hassle and people trying to, you know, make you believe that something is maybe worth a price way higher than it actually is, or sending you in the wrong direction where you are not supposed to be. Tip number 6. A lot of people give this as a first tip, but I feel like it really depends on your personality. Always try to look as confident as possible and be aware of your surroundings. Wherever I am, I always pay attention who is especially walking behind me. Of course, I am also looking at who is walking in front of me, but especially if I feel somebody is walking behind me, I will like look behind me and try to like make them walk in front of me by walking slower myself, so I can keep an eye on them. Don't be too trusting with people walking behind you. I'm allergic to people walking behind me. Also, don't let people cross your boundaries. If somebody's walking too close to you, honestly, don't feel shy to take a little bit more space of yourself. And if they're like looking at you weirdly, what are you doing? Who cares? It is about your safety and you staying as comfortable as possible. If this person is making you uncomfortable, like I said, don't be afraid to be rude, because you don't owe them anything. You don't owe anything to anybody, and your safety should be priority number one. Oh, I do want to give you a little bonus tip, because some people get, they're maybe too polite or they get overwhelmed in the moment. But for me, this is like the biggest red flag ever, even if it's children doing this. Whenever somebody touches you, whether it's just like your arm or like they grab your hand or your wrist, massive no-no. The worst thing that I have ever had to do, oh my gosh, this is like a whole bonus story here for you. I was in Shenzhen with my brother and his girlfriend at the time. In case you don't know, Shenzhen is a small place close to the border of Hong Kong, but it is still China. So you are crossing the Chinese border. A lot of expats and people from Hong Kong go there to do some amazing shopping, massages, they have great food. So that's what we were there for. Unfortunately, this little girl, I swear to God, this was the most horrible thing I have ever had to do with a scammer in my life. This little girl, I think she was maybe 5 or 6 or something. She was already pestering us, and my brother's girlfriend back then, she didn't really know how to get rid of her. Suddenly, this little girl, she just collapses on the ground, wraps her legs around my brother's ex-girlfriend's legs, wraps her arms around her leg, and is just crying, screaming for her to give her some money. Obviously, we knew this was a scam, but it is a child. So you are like, what the F am I supposed to do? Something just snapped in my head. I was like, this child is not supposed to do this. The mom is an absolute douche, an absolute a-hole for letting a child scam people like this. So I had to like drag the child, the little girl, from my brother's ex-girlfriend and just tell her to go and leave and not feel like an absolute a-hole myself for treating a child like that. I just didn't know what else to do. Obviously, we were not going to give her money, because that way you're just reinforcing that kind of behavior, which was absolutely shocking. Seriously, this is one of the most traumatizing things that I've ever witnessed and that I ever had to do. Obviously, I was trying to be as gentle as possible with the little girl, but she was also like really holding on to my brother's ex-girlfriend's leg, like with her legs and her arms. Absolutely terrible. Still, when I think about it, I'm like, that was so disgusting. But please, still, even if you're in this situation, don't let anybody touch you. It's the parent's responsibility for that child. And also, please don't give them money, because you're just reinforcing that behavior and you're sending a signal that to the parents that, yeah, you should have more children who can do this. We don't want that in the world, right? I really hope this video helps to keep you safe and protected from scammers wherever you are traveling in the world and whoever you are traveling with. If you like the video and if you think it is helpful, make sure to put a thumbs up. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Click the little bell icon to get notifications whenever I post a new video. And then I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!